the devil. He goes by many names: Lucifer, Satan, the Prince of Darkness, Beelzebub, Old Scratch, Mitch McConnell, Hillary Clinton. He's the ultimate villain, a renegade who rebelled against God and whose very name has become a verbal shorthand for absolute evil.
Ventura. Yes, Satan?
Over time, the devil as a character has taken on many forms, from the tragic fallen angel to an anti-hero with roguish charm, and even an unmotivated slacker.
So I just don't even care anymore. I just don't care anymore.
Such a versatile and intriguing figure is a dream role for any actor, and plenty of our biggest movie stars have taken a crack at embodying that dastardly demon.
I've heard of you claiming American citizenship.
And who with a better right? When the first wrong was done to the first Indian, I was there. When the first slaver put out for the Congo, I stood on the deck.
Got me! Got me! Yes!
The devil is far more interesting, at least to me, than any biblical character. He's the final boss in the game of Christianity, something you must defeat or overcome with a little help from Jesus. That's probably why various interpretations of the character serve as the primary antagonist in countless books, plays, television shows, and movies. But what if you wrote a story and your character had a problem that you couldn't solve? Something so big that they couldn't fix it on their own and divine intervention was out of the question. Something that they're ill-equipped to handle and their only option was a deal with the devil. Well folks, that's when you get a little thing I like to call the Diablo Ex Machina. So what is a Diablo Ex Machina? Well, for me to explain that, I'll have to expound upon that age-old plot device in storytelling called a Deus Ex Machina. Way back in ancient Greece, when a dramatist was writing a tragedy to be performed, sometimes they'd find they'd written themselves into a corner. Their protagonist is in a tight spot and there isn't a clear way out of it. All their options have been exhausted and the danger is closing in. So, what's to be done? You can't just scoop them out of harm's way, can you? Well, if you're a Greek playwright in 406 BC, that may be exactly what you do. Just have a god come down from Mount Olympus and save our hero from danger at the last second. Easy peasy. Problem solved.
Merry Christmas!
Now, to convey this in a live performance, the actor portraying said god would be lowered down onto the stage using a mechanized pulley system to give the illusion of a deity descending from the heavens to save the day. And that's where we get the term Deus Ex Machina, which means God from the machine. In modern day, its meaning has shifted slightly, but the spirit is still there. Instead of a literal god swooping in to fix things, the term has come to mean anything that unexpectedly and abruptly solves a previously unsolvable situation.
When suddenly, the animator suffered a fatal heart attack. The cartoon peril was no more.
A great example of a movie with the Deus Ex Machina is one of my favorite kaiju flicks, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Throughout the film, gorilla aliens have been using a giant robotic version of Godzilla to destroy cities, wreak havoc, and just give the big lizard more of a bad reputation than he already has. When the two titans finally meet, the titanium terror thoroughly thrashes our radioactive champion, leaving him for dead. In the third act, King Caesar, another monster that has been built up the entire movie as the savior of the world, finally gets to have a go at Mechagodzilla himself, and he too is no match for the robotic reptile. But what's this? Godzilla reappears. It's 2 against 1. Mechagodzilla won't stand a chance. Oh no. Oh god. But just as all hope seems lost, Godzilla decides, fuck it. I'm a magnet now. And with his newfound ability, he pulls Mechagodzilla towards him and rips that fucker's head off. The end. This is not a power that Godzilla has ever shown before or since this movie. But it's also not the first time he's used a Deus Ex Machina. What? Because of the unexpected and often rushed nature of the plot device, a Deus Ex Machina is considered by most to be a disappointing cop-out to a story and something to be avoided when writing one.
Find an ending, but don't cheat, and don't you dare bring in a Deus Ex Machina.
However, I for one believe that it all depends on the kind of story being told, and in preparation for this video, I put up a poll to get your thoughts on the trope, and to my surprise, a good chunk of you agreed with me. It's the execution that matters, and come to think of it, plenty of what are now considered classic films have a Deus Ex Machina. Was Superman too late to save Lois Lane? Easy, just fly around the Earth real fast, making it spin in the opposite direction, turning back time, and fixing the problem. Good luck getting him to do that again, though. Also, how does that work? How'd you do that?
I'll see you later.
Indiana Jones and Marion Ravenwood are captured by the Nazis, who are about to open the Ark of the Covenant. Good thing Indy has the wherewithal to know exactly what's going to happen next.
Don't look at it. Shut your eyes, Marion. Don't look at it no matter what happens.
Now just send it to Hitler! Are our heroes surrounded by a pack of vicious raptors with no escape? Here's a little Deus Ex Machina. The point is, a Deus Ex Machina isn't always a bad thing, and sometimes, though not often, but sometimes it can be the best thing about a movie. And in lieu of a better segue to this section, let's talk about... So, a Diablo Ex Machina is something I made up. It's pretty much a combination of the idioms "a deal with the devil" and "the enemy of my enemy is my friend," but with the out-of-nowhere nature of a classic Deus Ex Machina. And instead of a god saving you, it's Satan. Simple as that. Though it doesn't have to be the literal devil, I think it works best that way. Basically, when the heroes of the story have an enemy that they can't defeat, they turn to the one being able to help them, who may be just as bad, or worse, than their current foe. So, to reiterate, here are the core details that make a Diablo Ex Machina. It's a last-minute solution to an unsolvable problem. A deal is made, putting the heroes at risk in a new way, and a temporary alliance is formed with the devil. Now, to my knowledge, there's not many films out there that have a Diablo Ex Machina. At first glance, I thought that Thor Ragnarok would fit into that category, but the more I thought about it, the less sense it made. First off, the ending doesn't come out of nowhere. It's set up at the beginning, making it less of a Deus Ex Machina and more of a Chekhov's gun. Second, no deal or alliance is made between Thor and Surtur. They basically just unleash him like a mythical atom bomb right on top of Hela's face. Furthermore, Surtur is not truly analogous to what we know as the devil. Sure, the Marvel interpretation of the Norse figure looks like a classic pop culture demon that sounds like the Kurgan from Highlander, but that's about as close as we get to him being the devil.
I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Speaking of Highlander, let's get to a film that has a true Diablo Ex Machina, and we'll see how well it's executed. The Prophecy is a 1995 horror fantasy film from the writer of Highlander about murderous angels. It could also double as a miniature Pulp Fiction reunion. Neat! In this film, seminary student Thomas Daggett loses his faith after receiving some gnarly visions of angelic carnage. Thus, he skips the priesthood and becomes a cop, as you do. Then he receives a visit from Simon, who tells him that heaven ain't what it used to be. Also, Simon is an angel and kind of a self-righteous prick. Later, another angel drops down to Earth and attacks Simon.
You found it, haven't you? You can't keep it from us, Simon!
Though wounded, Simon gets the upper hand and promptly shows us the definition of overkill. Later, when Thomas surveys the crime scene, Simon goes to a wake, where he sucks out the soul of the recently deceased Colonel Hawthorne. Thomas begins to put two and two together and finds out that there is a second war in heaven that's been waging for eons. Both sides of the conflict are currently in a stalemate, but it can be broken using the soul of a vicious warrior, aka General I did a lot of war crimes and kept a box full of the faces of my enemies, Hawthorne. That guy was a piece of work. So, after slurping up that scumbag soul, Simon decides to hide it in the one place no one would find it.
Hi.
Well, there's something that I would very much like to give to you.
What is it?
Come here.
Okay, time to leave, kid. No, don't. Look, there had to be a better way to convey that visually. Like, I don't know, a Vulcan mind meld or something like that. Literally anything that doesn't involve a grown man kissing a child on the mouth. Anyway, so now that the dark soul is trapped inside this little Native American girl named Mary, her school teacher Catherine and Thomas must keep her safe from the one angel responsible for all this madness, Gabriel.
Hi! Don't start. I hate that.
Christopher Walken as Gabriel is one of the two actors that really make this movie work for me. He has a look that I wouldn't call angelic, more like alien, but I think that works. From the first moment we see him, he's a weirdo. Gabriel wants Hawthorne's soul desperately, so most of the movie consists of him hunting for Mary while our two heroes do their best to stop him. Problem is, he's basically the Terminator. Blunt force trauma, gunshots, explosions, nothing can stop him.
So fed up with you.
They make their way up to a Native American site up in the mountains for a last stand against the Archangel, while also attempting to exorcise Hawthorne's soul from Mary's body. But they sense the futility of their situation, and despair starts to creep in. To ease her nerves, Catherine goes for a nightly stroll, when all of a sudden...
Hello, Catherine.
Viggo Mortensen shows up out of nowhere as the goddamn devil, and I love him. He's suave but sinister.
God? God is love. I don't love you.
He's handsome but vile.
I can't do this.
I can lay you out and fill your mouth with your mother's feces. Or we can talk.
What a creatively rancid, horrible thing to say with such casual malice. He's perfect. Remember when I said that Christopher Walken was one of the two actors that really make this movie work for me? Viggo's the other one. He's in the running for my favorite devil ever to be put on film. He sounds exactly what I'd imagine Satan would sound like.
Are you an angel?
I am the first angel, loved once above all others. A perfect love. But like all true love, one day it withered on the vine.
His whole introduction is just him saying cruel things in the calmest way possible.
And while this state of affairs endures, no soul can meet its God. Your parents and their parents and so on from the beginning lie still in wormy earth. Of course, some of them do come to me eventually. For while heaven may be closed, I am always open, even on Christmas.
I could gush about his performance all day, but I digress. We eventually find out why Lucifer is here. If Gabriel wins, then he takes over heaven, something that irks our boy Lou for a specific reason.
I know that this new heaven will just be another hell. You see, I'm not here to help you, little bitch, because I love you or because I care for you, but because two hells is one hell too many. And I can't have that.
He just doesn't want the competition. So he's willing to help these talking monkeys defeat Gabriel if it means that he remains the top heathen.
What do you say?
Now, as cool as Viggo is, sadly the last act isn't anywhere near as interesting as him. First off, the solution he gives them is kind of lame.
What is the one thing essential to an angel? The thing that holds his entire being together. Faith. Faith. And what would happen if that faith was tested and an angel just like you didn't understand?
So, to defeat Gabriel, they have to make him lose his faith. I'm sorry, I was under the impression that that had already happened. You know, what with the second war in heaven. But fine, they have a plan. Let's see how it plays out.
Nice move. Beautifully done.
It's like an angel. Not an angel. I'm just a man, which means I got something you don't. Your word's a lie. It's not about humans. It's about God.
What do you know about that, you monkey?
I don't have to, Gabriel. I know you. I know what it's like to be ignored, pushed aside. I know your anger, Gabriel. I know what it's like to lose your faith in the word. I know. If you wanted to prove your side was right so badly, why didn't you just ask him? Why didn't you just ask God?
Because he doesn't talk to me anymore.
Then he just walks away from that therapy session and crashes an exorcism only to have a showdown with a gun-wielding schoolteacher. And what follows is some of the most contrived dialogue of the movie.
Go to hell.
Heaven, darling, heaven. At least get the zip code right.
It's all the same to you, isn't it?
No. In heaven, we believe in love.
What do you love, Gabriel?
Cracking your skull.
Ugh. Thank goodness Thomas saves her by crashing a truck into a building full of people. Then he just proceeds to beat Gabriel with a tire iron. What?
Go home.
Okay, this was the plan? First, try to sow seeds of doubt in the mind of an angel, a being who's been waging war for millennia and says things like this.
I kill firstborns while their mamas watch. I turn cities into salt.
And when that fails, you just hit him a bunch of times and tell him to get out of here. Go on now, get. Go home. And then Lucifer steps in.
Long time. This war is mine. Your war is arrogant. That makes it evil. That's mine.
And with that, he rips out Gabriel's heart and proceeds to eat it, all while this is carrying on in the background. Wait. Go back. No, but further. No, too far, no! So, what was the point of making Gabriel lose his faith if the ultimate solution was Lucifer yanking out his heart and gnawing on it? What did any of this accomplish?
I know your anger, Gabriel. I know. Go home.
What, did it soften him up? Did he need to be tenderized before Lucifer could snack on his ticker? Why didn't Lucifer just do that from the beginning? Why did he even need these two to do anything? And you know what? Why didn't Gabriel just set Thomas on fire? He can do that. He does it to Simon earlier in the movie. Why didn't you do that? Why'd you just leave him there, Gabriel? You know he's gonna be a problem later on. You might as well take care of him now. Also, there are two instances in this movie where Gabriel just doesn't want to deal with people, so he puts them to sleep. Shh. Gee, I wonder where that would have come in handy. I don't know, maybe every fucking time you have to deal with the sad boy detective and his partner, Lady Luck.
You can't have her!
Holy shit. Okay. Anyway, now that Gabriel's defeated, our heroes must contend with the Prince of Darkness himself. And while the final moments with Lucifer have Viggo being excellent and terrifying, the way they get rid of him is so uncreative and anticlimactic that it hurts my soul.
War's over. It's done.
No. I want you both to come home with me.
Never.
I love you more than Jesus.
I have my soul. And I have my faith.
We have a Widen, Thomas.
And then he leaves. That's it. All because now Thomas has the joy down in his heart. And if the devil doesn't like that, he can set on attack. As you can probably tell, I have mixed feelings about the prophecy. While it has some cool world building elements to it, that's overshadowed by a lot of mediocrity and some questionable choices. Even the little rays of sunshine that break through aren't enough to disguise that fact. And the execution of the Diablo Ex Machina leaves a lot to be desired. Okay, we'll get back to the prophecy in a bit, but now let's see how another film handles the Diablo Ex Machina.
Hello there, young lady.
Constantine is a 2005 adaptation of the popular comic book series Hellblazer. It stars Keanu Reeves as John Constantine, a working-class exorcist and occult expert who lives a miserable existence. As a teenager, being able to see demons, monsters, and all sorts of supernatural beings made him think that he was insane, and it drove him to suicide. While he survived, his soul is still condemned to hell for even attempting to end his own life. Fucking bummer. Jesus. To make penance for his sin, Constantine uses his abilities to help others with the hope that his good deeds will save his soul from damnation, which leads us to the crux of the story. Somewhere in Mexico, a dude finds an ancient artifact that seemingly makes him invulnerable, and as if possessed, he departs on an unknown mission. What he carries is actually the Spear of Destiny, the spear that pierced the side of Christ while he was on the cross. You know, from the book. So apparently this guy is delivering it to someone, or something. Cut to Constantine dealing with a sudden uptick in demonic activity while also dealing with advanced lung cancer because he smokes like a freight train. Terminal illness is bad news for anyone, but especially to Constantine, what with the whole going to hell thing. He's running out of time to redeem himself, and it sucks. Then he runs into Detective Angela Dodson, who's investigating the death of her twin sister Isabella. It was a suicide, but Dodson is convinced that there was foul play. For one, her sister was a devout Catholic, and suicide is a no-no. And second, the last thing she says before jumping off the roof is Constantine. While Constantine isn't too keen on helping at first, demons start to break the rules and attack them outright, making him reconsider. They enlist the help of Constantine's friends, Sweaty Bug Eyes, Wormy Four Eyes, and actual cannibal Shia LeBeouf, as they try to find out why these demons are after Dodson and what's her connection to the Spear of Destiny. Along the way, Constantine crosses paths with the half-breed demon Balthazar, the Archangel Gabriel, and the Vodun shaman Papa Midnight. Guess which one's the bad guy? As Constantine gets closer to the truth, he loses two of his buddies to the unseen villain, but not before they lead him to the ultimate discovery. Someone plans to use the Spear of Destiny to unleash the Antichrist. How? Well, Mammon, the son of the devil, must possess a human host, and then that host has to get stabbed by the spear, unleashing Mammon and ushering in hell on earth. The original host was intended to be Isabella, but she killed herself before she could be possessed. Lucky for Mammon, she has an identical twin sister. Also lucky for Mammon, he has a helping hand on the mortal plane. Constantine is pretty sure that that helping hand is Balthazar, and he makes short work of the demon. But while Balthazar was a key player, he wasn't the mastermind. Also, yoink! Well, that ain't good. Constantine and even Steven go to Papa Midnight to load up on weapons before making their way to save Dodson and also the world. Dodson gets possessed and the duo wrestle her into an impromptu exorcism, and it seems to work.
Not bad, kid.
Not bad, you hear that?
Or not, Constantine, now thoroughly pissed off, attempts to draw out the unseen force that's been behind this whole thing. And it's Gabriel. Who would have guessed? But this Gabriel's motivation is slightly different.
I am simply seeking to inspire mankind to all that was intended.
By handing Earth over to the son of the devil? Help me here.
If sweet, sweet God loves you so, then I'll make you worthy of his love. It's only in the face of horror that you truly find your noblest self. And you can be so noble. So, I'll bring you pain. I'll bring you horror. So that you may rise above it.
Yeesh. Now, there's not much that Constantine can do against a renegade angel, so, on the ropes and unable to think of anything else, he seeks divine intervention.
I know I'm not one of your favorites. I'm not even welcome in your house. But I could use some attention. Please.
He's literally asking for a Deus Ex Machina, but he doesn't get one. So, if the big man upstairs is unwilling to help and time is running out, there's only one thing to do. Constantine slits his wrists and says,
Hurry.
Lights begin to flicker. The music is pounding away, counting down, but time slows to a crawl before stopping altogether. All remain frozen in time, save for John Constantine. Then, enter Satan.
What took you so long? Hello, John. John, hello. You're the one soul I would come up here to collect myself.
Honestly, it's hard not to just let this scene play out for you folks. I love it that much. But that could get me a copyright strike, so I'll just do a slight breakdown instead. Constantine and Lucifer make small talk for a bit. After all, they have all the time in the world. Why rush? Eventually, they start to cut to the chase.
I didn't think you would make the same mistake twice.
Look at this sly son of a bitch. What a great look, Keanu. You fucking nailed it.
And you didn't. Did you?
That's the turning point of the conversation where Lucifer realizes that something's up, but Constantine seemingly deflects, asking about his family, and specifically his son, Mammon.
He's in the other room.
Boys will be boys.
With Gabriel.
No accounting for taste, really.
They have the spear of destiny.
That literally gives him pause. I love it. He has to register what was just said. He doesn't believe it.
Or is it another one of your cons? You've waited 20 years for me, though. What's another 20 seconds?
So he walks into the other room and sure enough finds his enterprising offspring about to jumpstart the apocalypse with the help of an angel. And that's not gonna fly.
Lucifer.
This world is mine. In time.
Though Gabriel is taken aback by the arrival of their sworn enemy, they muster up the courage to take a righteous swing.
Looks like somebody doesn't have your back anymore.
And with that, Lucifer de-wings Gabriel and sends his son back to hell. Problem solved.
So, yeah, what do you want? An extension?
Okay, so this isn't a bad trade-off, right? The devil owes Constantine now, offering to spare him. This time. It'd be a nice bow on an already great ending, but it gets better.
Sister. Isabel.
What about her?
Let her go.
You're willing to give up your life so she can go to heaven.
What a noble gesture from the cynical, self-absorbed John Constantine.
Fine. It's done. Time to go, John.
And with that, Satan drags him to hell where he burns for all eternity. The end.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Well,
I'm just kidding. No, because of his self-sacrificial act, John Constantine is no longer damned and he's welcomed into heaven's sweet embrace. The end.
I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my...
I'm just fucking with ya. Satan says, if I can't have him, neither can you. And he heals Constantine, like a lot. He even rips the cancer out of his lungs. Lucifer's logic behind this is that it gives Constantine ample time to fuck up in the future and become damned all over again. And just like that, he's gone. So Isabella is in heaven, Dodson's going to look after the Spear of Destiny, the world is safe, and John Constantine has a new lease on life. The end.
Wait, he isn't dead. Shy surprise, there's a gun to your head.
Oh my god, he can fly now? So there you have it. 2 movies with the Diablo Ex Machina, both executed in different ways. But which one is better? Okay, right off the bat, both performances are great. I've already professed my love for Viggo, so I won't carry on too much. As an actor, his face has an aptitude for both devilish good looks and demonic expressions. I think he marries 2 important aspects of the devil in his performance: temptation and horror. Peter Stormare, on the other hand, shows us an impish version of Satan. He takes delight in tormenting others, even in small ways. But he also shows the qualities of a viper wearing human skin, at times seeming like he's trying to escape his own flesh and slither around. Stormare injects his performance with a repugnant glee, chewing on not just the scenery, but his co-stars as well. Ugh. Both Viggo and Stormare are playing different versions of the devil, and each have their own merits. And speaking for myself, these 2 are on the top of my list for the best interpretations of Satan. But when it comes to the execution of the Diablo Ex Machina, only one film comes out on top. There's a school of thought when it comes to storytelling that I think rings true here.
The last act makes a film. Wow them in the end, you got a hit. You can have flaws, problems, but wow them in the end, and you've got a hit.
If you have a movie that is mid-tier at best, but it has a fantastic finale, people are going to walk away from that movie with a positive outlook on what they just watched. The consensus on both the Prophecy and Constantine is that they're somewhere in the meh category. Not terrible, but not really something to write home about. However, one thing that always gets brought up when I talk to others about Constantine is how awesome the ending is. The Prophecy's ending feels half-baked, and it honestly showcases the worst aspects of a traditional Deus Ex Machina. In Constantine, Keanu's character has grown from being a cynical asshole only looking to save his own soul to a virtuous martyr willing to sacrifice himself by actively summoning Satan to save the world. Constantine's ending is both narratively satisfying and visually interesting. The Prophecy's is less so, and it doesn't feel earned like the other ending does. And as a consequence of that, I'm reminded of all the other aspects of the film that I didn't like. Gabriel's inconsistent powers, the cheesy one-liners, But in the spirit of fairness and to wrap up this video, let's run through the criteria that I made up to see which film has a better Diablo Ex Machina. Number 1. The last-minute solution to an unsolvable problem. Both have this, but Constantine's is handled with more style and grace, so point to Constantine. Number 2. A deal is made, putting the heroes at risk in a new way. It's implied off-screen that Catherine accepts a deal with Lucifer, but in order to get out of it, all they have to do is say, no. So, in reality, the risk was non-existent, and that's just lazy writing.
I know.
In contrast, Constantine makes a deal with Satan to save someone else's soul, accepting his fate to be tormented in hellfire for all eternity. That's a big ol' risk if I ever saw one. Point goes to Constantine.
Aren't you a peach?
And number 3, a temporary alliance is formed with the devil. Both have this as well, obviously, but once again, execution is key. In the Prophecy, Lucifer doesn't seem to even need help defeating Gabriel, so the point of the alliance is questionable. Constantine convinces the devil to ally himself temporarily, then unconsciously tricks him into saving not just Isabella's soul, but his own life as well. Because of the active role the protagonist takes in the Diablo Ex Machina, the final point goes to Constantine.
Whoa.
In conclusion, the devil is a fun character that can fit many roles: antagonist, temptress, anti-hero, comic relief, a friend, or even a neighbor. But out of all of them, nothing will beat my favorite version of the sinister serpent, the trump card known as the Diablo Ex Machina.
Hey folks, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like. I've honestly been wanting to talk about these two movies for a while, so it's nice to finally do it. If you can think of any other examples of a Diablo Ex Machina in movies or television or whatever, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see if there's any others. Also, let me know who your favorite devil is. Apparently, a lot of people seem to like Darkness from Legends, at least according to the poll that I put out before this video. If you want to get in on those polls or just see what's going on with future videos, go ahead and subscribe. And hit the bell, be sure to do that. I'm going to try and keep you guys up to date with what I have planned for future videos, so I hope you stick around.